What's up, TMF Elite? Welcome back to the TMF Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Palmer, and today we're going all in into a habit that really separates from the pros to the amateurs, the serious from the sloppy, and that's signing in and signing out of a study when you're working in the TMF. Now, I get it. This seems sort of like a small thing. It's a formality, something you just do because someone said you should do it. But let me tell you, this small thing is really the difference between an audit going smooth or your name being on a deviation report. It's the difference between being seen as a TMF expert or someone who's just sort of careless. You ever hear someone say, "Oh, I'll get to that later," and then that later, it never comes, right? And that's exactly what happens when people forget to log their activity in the TMF. And guess what? When an auditor asks, "Who made this change?" Where's the proof? Crickets. There's no traceability, there's no accountability, and now we got a big problem. I've seen studies, they get hit with these major findings all because someone forgot to sign in and sign out. It's not just one of those formalities. It's really about protecting the integrity of the trial. You're protecting patient safety and you're protecting your job. So listen, the goal is you want to be seen as a TMF expert, not a liability. TMF experts, they don't cut corners. Every document, every signature, every update, it all tells the story of that clinical trial. And that story, if it's missing pages, regulators, they're not going to trust the data. It's dirty. Think about it like this. Would you invest in a company that forgot to track their financial records? Hell no, right? So why would anyone trust a study where no one knows who touched what? So signing in and signing out, it's not a rule. It really is like a true statement where you're saying, I take this trial seriously. I take compliance seriously, and I take my reputation seriously. That's the mindset right there that you want to get as a TMF expert in our industry. So let's just talk about why does this even matter? So the TMF, it's the single source of truth in a clinical trial. It's how we prove the study was conducted according to the protocol, GCP, and all the regulations that come with it. But here's the problem. If we don't track who's accessing it and when they're accessing it and what they're doing, we're really creating gaps in our story. And you know who loves gaps? Auditors, regulators, inspectors. That's where the findings come from. So if you don't sign in or out of a study when you work in the TMF, here's what happens. There's no clear record of who made the updates or the changes. Documents can get deleted or overwritten without that accountability. The audit trail just gets messy, and that's the red flag for your compliance teams. And worst of all, you could be questioned about actions you didn't even take. Let that sink in for a minute. So here's the deal. If you want to be the TMF expert in this industry, if you want to be the one that people run to, they trust, they know that their TMF's going to be audit ready, then you got to own those details. Signing in and signing out, it's really not just one of those rules, it's really your commitment to the TMF. It's a commitment to doing things the right way every single time. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. So, here's what you can do starting today. Just make it a habit. Before you touch anything in the TMF, log in, document it. There's just no exceptions. We're all busy. You just got to do it, okay? Be clear about your actions. If you update, QC, move a file, it's got to be documented. Like your future self and your compliance team will thank you. All right. Educate your team, like hold the team accountable. If you see someone sort of skipping steps, speak up. Like audit findings don't just affect one person. They literally hit the entire study team. And we're all on the same team. So here's a challenge for you. You're up for it? The second you start working in a study, sign in. The moment you finish, which I think a lot of people forget, especially when they're switching jobs and careers. It's just one of those things that slips through the cracks because there's so much to do with the handovers. They forget to sign out of the study. So just like clocking in and clocking out of a job, but this is way more important because this impacts patients' lives. And if you see someone on your team just like slipping, call it out, not to criticize, but really we're elevating. This industry is only as strong as the people willing to hold the line. So be one of those people. Listen, at the end of the day, you got two choices. You can be a liability or a TMF leader. Every small action, like signing in and signing out, those little actions, they add up. So master the small things and the big wins, they're going to take care of themselves. So, TMF Elite, what kind of professional do you want to be? Someone scrambling around when an audit hits, or the one who's ready, always in control, always playing at the highest level? I'll give you a hint. This is how you win in the industry. Make your choice. I'll see you on the next episode of the TMF Daily. Let's get to work.